So you're looking to get into Airbnb and you want to just understand the things that you should do or not do ahead of getting started. And I'm going to share all of the 5 tips with you in this video. Please stay tuned for the end because that one is the real tea that I'm going to bless you with. Hi, my name is Nicole, ex-investment banker turned your real estate bestie, and I'm here to give you the tips, the tricks, and all the tea and everything in between on everything as it pertains to real estate. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about Airbnbs and the 5 things to do and not to do. Starting with number 1. I got notes for you guys. So you're not always going to be booked. Like, people want to gas up the Airbnb industry and think that, oh, as soon as you put it up on Airbnb, like, you're good to go, you're going to be booked back to back. Guys, this business, is very, very cyclical in the sense of summertime, you're going to be rolling in money, God willing, you've done your due diligence, right? But in the summertime, you're going to be rolling in money. However, in the wintertime, it might be quiet. I would say probably from October onwards, you can see a slowdown in the bookings that you get, and probably maybe even the rate at which you can charge. Naturally, this whole business is a business of economics, supply and demand. Naturally, in the summer, when there's more tourists, when there's more business events, everything in price can go up, and therefore, you can make more money. So you need to appreciate that you're not always going to be booked, and that is okay. Because sometimes people might say like, oh, I've had 100% occupancy, blah, 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 but they're only charging £20 a night. Rent is £2,000 a night. So that means you haven't even made any profit, if you get what I mean. So don't always compare your occupancy. I think 70 to 80% is a good occupancy. Even hotels themselves don't have 100% occupancy. So it's okay not to have 100%, but you need to just ensure that you make sure you do your due diligence so that you know that when the service accommodation is booming, that you're also eating and enjoying the cash flow that the service accommodation industry can offer you. So, as I said, you're not always going to be booked. That's not a problem. Just make sure you do your diligence and pick an area that allows you to make money. And also in the wintertime, make sure that you don't just stick to the number that you've done your due diligence with in the summertime. So hear this, guys. I took my Liverpool unit and I had done my due diligence. I got it at the end of summer. So I was still like living it large. I did my due diligence on £100 a night and I was getting booked on £100 a night. Come November now, I wasn't getting booked. But instead of me to reduce my price, I was just like, nope, I know this property can go for £100 a night. So I'm not changing my price. I'm not reducing my price. And instead of me thinking that it's better for me to get some money in by reducing my price to maybe £70 a night, I was just being so stubborn, so prideful, saying that I'm not going to reduce my price. And that whole month, I know, guys, it's crazy. That whole month, I didn't make any money just because I wasn't willing to actually understand the power of demand and supply and reduce my prices. Naturally, there's less people coming to the area in the winter and I should have reduced my prices. But this is what I mean. Like, you're not always going to get 100% occupancy, but make sure that when the slower seasons do come around, you're willing to reduce your prices and actually look at what the competitors are charging and charge a similar rate. Don't just do your numbers based on the due diligence that you did for summertime. Like, be flexible, be adaptable, otherwise you are going to die. So that is number 1. So the other thing that I wish I knew is that people online be screaming that rent to rent is 0 money down. Is that really true? Is that really true? Because realistically, whenever you're taking on a unit, you're going to have to pay for the work to be done. Potentially, if there is work that needs to be done, you're going to have to pay rent, you're going to have to pay a deposit, and naturally you're going to have to furnish the place. Like, you're looking at a cool 5 to 10k, 5k if you're in like Liverpool, or 10k if you're like in London. And again, these numbers even vary depending on the size of the property that you have. So when people say, oh, like rent to rent is an easy strategy to get into property, yes, whilst that's true, I feel people need to not stress on the fact that it's 0 money down, because it's not. You're going to have to provide some kind of money. Maybe like you can caveat by saying that it's 0 of my money down. Like, granted, guys, I've probably had 3 deals where I haven't had to put any of my money down. So that's a 0 down deal for me and my house. However, I've had to use somebody's money. I've had to leverage other people's finances to help me get this project on the go. So it was zero of my money down, but there was definitely money down. The deposit, the rent, doing up the place, and typically I take on units that need a bit of work, so I needed money to also do the work. So don't be disheartened if you're not finding a unit that's zero money down, because it's not always possible. So just don't be disheartened. That's my key takeaway. So that is number 2. Number 3 is when people are screaming about how much money they're making from Airbnb and booking.com and everything, and they're showing you their top line figures, people aren't telling you that there's a 15% booking fee. They're not telling you. They're just like, oh, I made £2,000, £1,000 profit. Yeah. But when they're doing the calculations, or even these deal sellers out there, guys, hate to say it, hate to break it to you, these deal sellers will be telling you that you're going to get all of this money, inflating profits, and they're not actually accounting that of every single booking, booking.com, Airbnb, they're taking at least 15%. So every booking that's £100, they're taking £15. And you need to consider that when you're doing your numbers, when you're doing your due diligence, and you're seeing that this Airbnb is going for £100 a night, you need to actually appreciate that. No, actually, the owner or the host is only getting 85. And then you need to do your calculations based on the fact that, okay, cool, if I'm only 15% or 50% full, that's 15 days of the month, I can times 15 by 85, not 100. And that will give you your true value in terms of how much you can project to make when you're doing your due diligence. So I hope that is helpful, number 3, because as I said, people be screaming about the profit. And don't get me wrong, it is so profitable, this business. But I'm going to keep it real with you. You got to consider your Airbnb, your platform fees, cost, and the other OTAs, which is like booking.com, Verbo, Trivago, all of those ones. They all have their platform fees that you need to consider when doing your due diligence. So that is number 3. Number 4, I think when you're getting into the Airbnb business, it's really, really important to determine who your target market is. Like in any case, in any business, you always want to consider, who am I serving? Because that's going to determine your offer and your product. Yes, service accommodation is a house, but it's also a product that you need to determine who best can and will I serve. Because this is going to determine the type of research and due diligence you do. If you want businesses to stay at your property, and let's say it's white collar staff, maybe you're going to find places next to Canary Wharf, maybe find places next to Greenwich, maybe find places next to the XL, just because by virtue of there being a lot of white collar people that live there or work there or commute there or would be happy to live there when they're in the country. So that's something to consider. However, potentially if you're looking at contractors, they need and typically need parking with their properties because they are coming with their vans and they're going to go to and from every day. So if you don't know who you're serving, but you're saying, oh, I'm serving contractors, but you've got a 1-bed flat, it's not really going to work, because 2 contractors, like let's say they're 2 male contractors, they might not be happy sharing a bed. So you need to think, okay, cool, maybe it'll be better for me to get a 2-bed with 1 sofa bed and a place with a car park. That means you're now catering more so closely to the contractor. So it's really important that you determine who is your ideal client avatar, understand them in their head, understand their needs, their desires, their wants, and then go and find the property based on their needs and wants. That means you're able to meet their demand a lot more easily. So I would say that is food for thought. So please determine who your ideal client is. Number 5, I would say that this business is super profitable. Guys, when I was in Ghana, I was not even in the country. I was in a different country from where my service accommodations are, but I was able to make around £15,000. Why? Because I focus on longer term bookings. Like, people don't really highlight how amazing longer term bookings are. People just talk about short term bookings are the way forward, short term bookings are the way to go, but there's so much power in allowing someone to stay for a longer period of time. But then that just might be my risk profile. I prefer someone staying there for a month, 2 months, 3 months even. In fact, I even got an insurance company staying at my property they've been there for the last 6 months. That's my type of client. And I think what's powerful is that I don't really have to deal with the clients as much because they've now considered that place as home, and we build a really good rapport. And if they have a good time, then I know that they'll refer me back. And I think what's been powerful for me in being able to expedite my process and get such good bookings is getting mentorship. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Get mentorship on your journey, because guys, this is the tip that I wanted to save till last, because mentorship is key. If you want to expedite your process, if you want to learn from someone else's mistakes, if you want to be making money a lot sooner without losing money, getting mentorship is key. And if you guys want to be mentored by me, please do reach out to me. Follow me on Instagram, hit me up in my DMs. I'd be happy to work with you, happy to have you making money in the service accommodation industry so you can free up your life, go on holidays, be in another country and getting amazing notifications that you are making money on your properties in the UK. So please, guys, these are the 5 things that I wish I knew before I started. I hope you found these helpful. Please leave a comment. Which tip was your favorite tip? Which tip did you think like, rah, I'm so happy that I found this video and understood what Nicole was talking about before I started? I really love to hear from you guys. But yes, another thing, if you guys want my ebook, do hit me up. Again, I can send that over you. It's an ebook that helps you secure your first unit within 90 days. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. See you later.